Hey everybody, welcome to Local Business Hacks Podcast. I'm your host, Carl Case, and I'm on a mission to help you. Every week, we're going to be talking to local business owners and experts to get their best tips, tricks, and hacks to grow your business. This show is designed to teach you, inspire you, and motivate you to take massive action and start to build your future-proof business. Whether you're just starting off or you're taking your existing business to the next level, this episode is for you. So let's get started. Hey, local business hackers. I'm your host, Director of Global Business Dev at Referrizer, joined today by Jen Richter, VP of Ops for Sauna House, one of the newest, most badass up-and-coming brands in the recovery and wellness space. Jen, I am so excited to have you on this show. Good morning and welcome to Local Business Hacks.
Thank you so much. I'm super excited to be here. You have quite an impressive list of guests, so it's like truly an honor to be here and just have a seat at the table. So thanks for having me.
And an impressive list of listeners. So thank you to you all. Without you, this would not be possible. Jen, let's get right to it. Who are you and how'd you get to this point in your career?
I'm Jen, and how I got here is a little interesting, I guess. I never really pictured myself in business or franchising, but life just sort of takes you wherever it's going to. So I was pretty fresh out of college when I met Andrew, who is our founder and CEO of Sauna House. And I have had a long history of working in like outdoor recreation and food and bev and hospitality and all of those things. So I actually met him when I was working in a coffee shop. I just moved back to the Asheville area and he was in my shop working on a website for Sauna House. And it was a business that hadn't been built yet. So it was a bunch of stock imagery and I didn't really get it, to be totally honest. But I really connected with Andrew and I really connected with his vision and his mission. And the more I heard about it, the more I was excited to get involved. And yeah, just the opportunity to help him launch it. He brought me to a building that was just full of 2x4s. There were no people in the space. There was no drywall in the space. And I could see it like through his enthusiasm. And I could see what a special facility he was trying to build, a bathhouse for the Asheville community. And I was super excited to jump on the boat with him. We have very different skill sets. Andrew is like the true visionary believer and I am the nuts and bolts and I can see people and I can see how to get things moving and how to get the equipment running and how we're going to like provide the best service that we can. So we made like kind of a dream team to get things up and running. So I helped him launch Asheville in 2019. We opened and over the last like 5.5 years now, we've just been building this like super epic brand and growing our single bathhouse location to we're in the double digits for territory sold, which we're super excited about. So we just keep on keeping on, you know?
Heck yeah. Congratulations to you and
Thank
congratulations to Andrew and the whole Sauna House team. You too, Gavin.
you. Shout out,
And
Gavin.
I think it's awesome that Andrew and you both saw each other's light
Yeah.
when it wasn't necessarily like the intention of the interaction. Like you're serving,
Yeah,
he's in your coffee house, and
exactly.
it brings me back to a memory 3-ish years ago. Our head of customer success, Bill, called us and was like, "Hey, I met this rock star, and she works at a burger joint in Serbia." And
That's
fast
awesome.
forward now, Sandy, this is a shout out for you. She is now running our corporate customer success department.
That's awesome.
Like exponentially grown as a person, and our company has because of her. And it's just
Yeah.
incredible. Goes back to an episode with director of Orange Theory sales, Manny Sierra, who said, hire what you can't teach. You
Yeah,
guys saw something in each other that now,
exactly.
has brought this incredibly fruitful relationship. So
For sure.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Serendipitous, you know? And I think that combination has been what has made Sauna House so special. Also, like if you look at us and you don't really know us as a brand or as people, it's really easy to just think we're a spa, which we're super anti-spa. We're a bathhouse facility, right? We're like trying to create wellness spaces for people that are accessible and approachable. And I brought that experience of like outdoor rec and community building in a coffee shop and made Sauna House a place that was just fun to hang out and not stuffy like a lot of spa environments. And I think you get lucky sometimes with just who you plug into certain places, and it is meant to be, I guess you could say.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Sauna House,
Yes.
saunahouse.com for those of you that are already like, what is this? I want to see these non-stock images now, knowing that Jen definitely
Yeah.
fixed that. Talk to us about the experience, what people
Cool.
can search for, and ultimately what you're looking for in a franchisee.
Yeah, totally. So Sauna House is a modern community bathhouse space. Public bathing in general has been around forever in so many places and in every sort of cultural version you could think of. So it's nothing new, but it is something that is sort of missing in the US. There's not really like an approachable US version of it, right? It's like you still have a Turkish bathhouse in a big city or something like that. So we are on a mission to sort of take those tributes to the old days and bring them into a package that's modern, approachable, accessible for people all over the place. So we provide access to hot and cold contrast therapy. And if you're not familiar with what that is, for us, we have saunas and cold plunges and lots of lounge space. And people do circuits of sauna and cold plunge. So hot, cold, relax, where they move through our space, 15-ish minutes in the sauna, 3-ish minutes in the cold plunge, relax and rehydrate until your body warms up naturally. Get back in there, do it again. And a lot of things that you see in that world right now feel very like performance oriented and gym oriented or on the spa side of things, like I was saying. But our space is designed to be just tech free and a place you're sharing with your community and these environments that are just like really intentionally and beautifully and sustainably designed. So we're creating something that's like super, super special for our communities. And it's something that it's like our brand is very like people forward, but the spaces that we're building are meant to feel like just really like approachable luxuries that you're supposed to be able to have for yourself like every week if you want to. It's meant to be like a routine wellness environment, not like a once a year, you deserve it spa experience. So yeah, we're creating just like community wellness hubs where people can put their phones in their locker and regulate for 2 hours without constantly stressing about whatever notifications coming through. And just, yeah, there aren't a lot of social spaces where people can come together and take care of themselves. There's a lot of socializing that revolve around like food and bev or other things. And this is like a truly like nourishing experience, which is super cool.
Heck yeah. So
Yeah.
for those of you listening, and I know that we have thousands of franchisees of
Yeah.
brands on here, if you guys are actively looking for an incredible recovery method for both your physical body and for your members to really just like,
Yeah.
get in contact with Sauna House, check
Yeah.
out the
Absolutely.
brand, see what they're doing. Like Jen said, they are in their walking stages. So Sauna House is about to open its 10th location in the very near future. Am I safe to say that?
We're under construction for quite a few. The opening schedule is a little bit more spaced out than that, but we're getting there.
Yeah, so jump on the train while it's early. Be the Sauna House in and Sauna House franchisee in your territory. And yeah, I am so excited for everybody to take advantage of this because
Totally.
I've spent a lot of time in Eastern Europe and I have definitely taken advantage of the Sauna House wannabes that are over there. And they are no way as clean and as feng shui as what it is that you guys have created. So I can
Thank
only
you
imagine the aura
so
that
much. Yeah,
irradiates in that space. So
for
great job,
sure.
Jen.
Yeah, and this is not to throw anybody under the bus, but if you go to a lot of bathhouse spaces, there's a reason that a lot of them exist in basements and it's like dark flooring and it's easy to hide gunk in those spaces. But ours are really like vibrant and like you're saying, like clean and yeah, they're bright, they're beautiful, they're a great place to be.
Just like all of us.
Exactly, exactly.
Jen, let's transition into,
Okay.
5.5 years of being at
Yes.
a startup company, like pre 2x4 space, to now
Yeah.
selling the concept for other business owners to take
Yeah,
operating procedures and make money while delivering results.
for sure.
What have you learned in this space that would be like oh my gosh, if I did this again, I would definitely do this or definitely not do that?
Yeah. Yes. This is going to sound just like the most basic thing in the world, but it's like truly the way I live my whole life personally and professionally. And just like don't be an asshole. Like, don't be an asshole to the people in your community, to the people that you work with. We've had 5.5 really good years, but they've been really hard, right? Like, we were operating a community wellness space during a pandemic, right? When you weren't supposed to be next to each other. And there are a lot of hard feelings and strong opinions that come up during that time. And just listening and validating and staying true to your mission and your values and communicating what those are, I think provide a lot of grace along the way for people within your ecosystem and people just watching what you're doing. I think it's really important to, yeah, just foster a good environment internally and externally. Like, we always say that, like, our business, it's sauna, cold plunge, and good vibes. And it's on us to maintain those good vibes and just keep on keeping on in that way. And that's sort of how we're building from here too. It's like, the better person that you are, the better people you attract to yourself. And that's sort of how we're building our franchise network as well. Like, catch more flies with honey, you know, like
Yeah.
that's time tested and very true.
Amazing. Jen, I got to ask for a story that ties to the don't be an asshole. If there's one that comes to mind that was like, this is when I really solidified this lesson.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, and this is not supposed to, like, I'm never an asshole, but you see it all the time in other people, right? It's like, you see people who are assholes and your culture spits them out. So, not to throw anybody under the bus or name names, but yeah, there are times where you're excited to meet somebody and they could be a great value add in terms of just like skill set for your organization. But if they're an asshole and they don't fit in with your team and they don't have respect for what you're doing, or the mission alignment's not there and they just see dollar signs at the end of the day, it's like, you have to have your flags raised for those kinds of people and spit them out, you know?
100%.
Yeah.
Protecting your energy is
Protecting your energy. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Jen, as far as the operations are concerned, starting from nothing.
Yeah. From
Now,
nothing.
selling somebody who might never have owned their own business, saying like, hey, here's our business model. This is what we've proven over 5.5 years that works. And we're going to hand you this, business in a box or in a house, this business in a house. And
Exactly.
like, what were ways that you started this or have like referenced to make sure that you're aligned? Like, what are some like things that you've learned on that front?
For sure. I would say that my top thing that I have done this whole time and continue to do is I write everything down. Every idea, every step I take, every bad decision that I've made, I write it down. A lot of times in this like fast pace. I mean, right now it's like we're finally coming to a place where we have a really, really strong team and it's not just me and Andrew running the show. But for a long time, when you're in this like fast paced startup and like high risk during COVID, and you don't really know what's real or what is like a fever dream sometimes. So it's like writing it down gives yourself like a really strong sense of reality and just a log for yourself to maintain. So really keep note of what you've tried, what you need to improve, ask for help and let people help you. That's something that I've learned along the way, like having to just like shut my ego down. I really like to tackle things and do it well and like claim the success for myself. But you're surrounded by so many people who really want to see you succeed, and utilizing those resources it's just so important. There are so many generous people in business and in your ecosystem that want to help and that can help, and just continue listening to those people, letting them critique you and growing from that, like knowing that you don't have all the best ideas, but somebody else might have some good insight there. Like, I think all of those things are super important to grow.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Push pause. That's like the biggest
Totally.
thing. We write it down and it's like, yes, this is the most amazing idea, but let me sleep on it and give me that opportunity to like, does this
sleep on it? Yeah, and let yourself be wrong. It's okay to try something and for it to totally bomb, but don't get attached to it on a personal level. It's like everything is development, especially with what we're doing, right? There are obviously like ways that you maintain a sauna and you maintain a pool system and all of those things, but we're creating a unique experience and a really new vertical in the wellness space. So to nail everything the first time around is completely unrealistic for yourself and your team, like as an expectation. And try it and fail, but bounce back and don't hate each other for it. And that's important too, just to foster in your team where I would rather have everybody on my team show initiative and it not work out than be frozen by fear and not move forward.
Without a doubt.
Totally.
Something that I'll give some advice to those of you listening. Something that we do over here at Referrizer is we've implemented something called What the Heck is EOS, the Entrepreneurial Operating System.
Mm-hmm.
And it allows us all to have moments where we can put our ideas, our goals, and everything down so that in hopes of everyone having a voice and then taking action items that are revisited on a weekly basis.
Cool.
I want to congratulate our team on having an average retention of employees of almost 4 years at this point. Which
Wow.
in a virtual rapid growing software space, which I've been in 2 other times outside of Referrizer, has seemed impossible.
Oh my God. It feels so turn and burn,
Yes. So definitely like those core values. One of our core values is actually don't be an asshole.
Yeah. It's so simple, but it's so true.
Yeah. Or don't be a jerk, I should say. We don't have asshole written on our core values, but don't be a jerk.
Sorry if you have to bleep that when we air this.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think we have any children listening to the show.
Okay, good.
If you are a child listening to this show, please message me directly so that I can foster.
He's going to recruit you. Be careful.
Yeah, even more. If you're invested in a franchise focused growth podcast, like at a young age,
that's your type of guy.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Jen, I just brought up books. I'm dying to know, are you a reader or more of a podcaster?
Both. Big time both.
Yes. What are your somebody tells you I need to read a book or I need to listen to a podcast. What do you get so excited to tell them that they got to check out?
Yeah. Are you thinking like me personally or business lens, anything? Just whatever. Okay. Well, I really like reading stuff that feels like a little blend of both. And I was actually just thinking about this the other day where my interest in books, like the self-help type in particular, have really changed based on where we are as a company. I would say that the ones that have meant so much to me up until this point, where I was just kind of flying solo a lot of the time on a lot of projects, have been really based on just really internal focus and perseverance. I don't know if you've read Grit by Angela Duckworth. It's called The Power of Perseverance. And it's just keep on keeping on. It's there's aptitude and willingness and all of those things that we talk about, and just keep trying, things are tough, keep moving. Another one that I really, really like, it's called Professional Troublemaker. And it's the fear fighter manual, and just acknowledging that, especially as a woman in business, it could be kind of not a scary place, but a lonely place sometimes. You're often sticking out like a sore thumb, or maybe not asked certain questions, and people aren't assuming that you have the right answers or the right input. So it just acknowledges the fear and insecurity of those spaces, but you do it anyway. You keep moving and you take those experiences and you prove them wrong and you prove yourself wrong and you keep moving forward. So I read a lot of stuff like that. That's personally empowering. Something that I just finished recently that I'm super excited about as we're opening up new bathhouse spaces and training new teams. There's a book called Unreasonable Hospitality, something about the power of giving people more than they expect or something. And those kinds of books are just so exciting for me to think about how to implement those strategies in our own space and continue serving our community and making our experiences super special. So those are 3 fun ones for me.
That's awesome. Thank you for bringing 3 new ones
that I've never
heard of on the show.
I know. I was honestly so insecure to talk about it because I listened to your show, and so many people are these badass system building, which are all so important, but I'm just such a emotional, people focused person. I'm always looking for internal improvement before I am looking to fix everything around me. And I kind of gravitate towards those things a little bit too, especially like women authors, big fan.
Definitely hit me personally when you said like the emotional side of business, because
Yeah.
I've realized that there's many different archetypes of people, but
Yeah.
I'm an emotional person and
Yeah.
I love bringing my emotions to my work because it allows me to
Yeah.
be authentic to who I am. And
Exactly.
when I owned my restaurant software and we were scaling to worldwide, and my business partner who we had hired as the CEO said, you got to stop putting your emotions in these things. And I was
Mm.
like,
For
suppressing
sure.
my creativity is not going to allow
For
us to expand, and
sure.
then I can't be a visionary and everything else. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that you are who you are. I
Thank
see
you.
you. I
I think it's
honor.
a special lens too for somebody who is like ops focused, right? Like, I think there's this sort of expectation that you're just there to focus on making everything as like quick and seamless as possible. And that is true, but like efficient doesn't necessarily always mean like short and to the point. Like it's like a short term, long term game. And I think it's so much more important to build people and get ahead of the curve if things go wrong. So like over communicate, overshare, let people know the why behind your decision making and why you're doing things a certain way. Very much like passion, emotion forward.
Heck yeah, put yourself in their shoes.
Totally, totally.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Jen, before we wrap up, I just want to
Oh.
tell everybody that this episode is sponsored by Referrizer.
Are they all
If you guys are looking for the most world-class automated text, email, and marketing tool, head to referrizer.com and let us show you why thousands of brands all over the globe have turned to Referrizer for all of their automated marketing needs. Okay, in wrapping, if you're going to have dinner with a historical figure from the past, who are you eating with? What are you eating? And what are you talking about?
this is this is just going to be me as a person, completely unrelated to Sauna House.
Awesome.
Okay. I mean, nothing's completely unrelated. I'm so intertwined with it at this point. But I would say Steve Irwin, the crocodile hunter. I love him so, so much. I think that he is such a bright light to this world. And just thinking about like, I mean, I guess it is kind of related to Sauna House, but thinking about how you can love something so much and be so convicted and bring so many people in and also caring about it. That's sort of how I see what we're doing in a lot of ways. Like, how can I live with such conviction and joy and excitement every day for what I'm doing and what I'm immersing myself in? And I think he is just like an icon for that. We all love him. Honestly, I would like be grilling out over a campfire with him in the bush, just talking, just hanging out. Whatever we were able to catch that day, we would be cooking that, something super easy, very authentic. But yeah, I'm just such a sucker. I love him.
I thank you again for being your authentic self and bringing a new name to the table and one that really hits home. I am a huge
Yes.
Steve Irwin fan. We grew up on Steve Irwin.
Yeah.
It's like that name will forever be recognized. And if you get a +1 at that table, I definitely want to
Oh,
be.
you're invited. Absolutely. Yeah. He's a special guy.
Thank you. Jen, what's the best way for people to get a hold of you or someone on your team?
Well, you're always welcome to find me on LinkedIn if you'd like to. Go to our website. There's a lot of contact information there. You could subscribe to our newsletter if you just want to stay in touch with what's going on in the Sauna House world. And not just what's going on, we also just try to send you information that will be helpful for your everyday life, both in and out of our bathhouse spaces. So approachable, science-backed wellness tips, you'll find that there. But yeah, find us all over the place, all over the web.
Saunahouse.com coming to a city near you, people.
Yeah.
From you too. And I'm sure we'll be in touch and have you again when you guys hit that 100 location mark in the very near future. Jen, congrats to you. Congrats to
Thank you
Sauna
so
House.
much.
And thank you, listeners, for tuning in to Local Business Hacks. And we'll see you on next week's episode.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's it for this week's episode. I hope you found it helpful. Be sure to head over to our site, local-business-hacks.com, to check out the show notes and send me questions or ideas for future episodes. If you want to grow your business just like the people you've heard from here, follow Local Business Hacks Podcast and tune in for new tips, tricks, and tactics. Until next time, thanks for listening and keep hacking.